Across the bustling coffee shop, I observe him, a silent witness to a life diverging from mine. His hand is clasped not with hers, but a child's small, a stark symbol of a world I'm not part of. He seems lighter, carefree. A transformation blooms in his demeanor. Unknown to me before, a poignant revelation dawns. He's found a joy, a peace, far removed from our shared past. In the crowded cafe, I watch him, a stranger flourishing in a life I can only observe. Sunlight floods the dorm room, illuminating the swirling dust. I'm lost in Melville, a half-eaten bag of chips, my only companion. Footsteps approach. A figure appears, blueprints clutched tightly, a slide rule peeking out like a weapon. We met in college. I reflect, the memory sharp and clear. He was engineering. I, adrift in literature. The narration continues, a wistful tone coloring the air. The memory takes on a bittersweet quality. He grounded me. I thought. The narration concludes, hinting at loss. The contrast is stark. His precision, my chaos. A bond formed, a foundation built, or so it seemed. The small apartment is filled with mismatched furniture and the comforting scent of old books. A haven of memories. Sunlight streams through the window, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. The narrator recalls endless hours spent in conversation, their voices echoing softly in the cozy space. A nostalgic smile plays on the narrator's lips, remembering a simpler time. I remember feeling safe, the narrator says, the word hanging in the air like a cherished echo. The clock reads 8 p.m. as I watch steam curl from half-cooked pasta, a lonely monument on the stove. His voice echoes in my memory. Important projects, a fleeting kiss, then the slam of the door. My reflection wavers in the stainless steel, distorted by the rising steam and unspoken words. I made dinner for one more often than not, I think. The scent of garlic, a stark reminder of absence. The apartment is cloaked in shadows, the television's faint glow casting long, eerie shapes across the room. A new tie hangs on the coat rack, its unfamiliar pattern, a stark symbol of secrets and unspoken words. I recall the hushed phone call outside, his voice a low murmur I couldn't quite catch. The flicker of annoyance on his face replays in my mind, a silent accusation hanging in the air. Small moments resurface, each a haunting fragment piecing together an unsettling truth. Lost in thought, I pause, my brow furrowing as inner turmoil takes hold. Was I being paranoid? Insecure? The unspoken question hangs heavy in the air. The weight of doubt begins to gnaw, a subtle poison seeping into my trust. I wanted to trust him, I think, yet the words feel fragile, easily broken. A silent battle rages within, trust and doubt locked in a fierce embrace. My eyes narrow, a flicker of resolve igniting amidst the swirling uncertainty. The room bathes in a soft, mournful light, shadows stretching like secrets across the walls. A half-eaten cake sits forlornly on the table, a silent testament to a forgotten celebration. Our anniversary. He forgot, I think, the words heavy with unshed tears. I swallowed the disappointment and told myself it was okay. It wasn't, I admit to myself. In the muted light of the apartment, a crumpled receipt is discovered in a coat pocket, a harbinger of secrets. Her fingers smooth out the paper, revealing a list of items. A stuffed bear? A puzzle? Innocent enough at first glance, then the stark revelation. A doll. A silent, unanswered question hangs heavy in the air. We didn't have kids, the narration whispers. A chilling echo in the otherwise silent room. The dread intensifies, a cold wave washing over her as the weight of the unknown presses down. My stomach dropped, the narration reveals, a physical manifestation of the emotional turmoil. In the dim apartment, he sits on the bed's edge, back turned, a silhouette against the pale light. The air hangs heavy with unspoken words, each breath a visible rise and fall of his shoulders. He reaches blindly, desperately, seeking my hand as if adrift in a dark sea. A sudden chill races down my spine at the raw need in his touch. He started being more affectionate, overly so. I reflect, the memory a haunting echo. In the dim apartment, I sit on the bed's edge, his phone glowing in my hand, a forbidden temptation. The screen illuminates my face, casting a pale light as I delve into his private world, knowing it's wrong. Scrolling through the messages, a sense of guilt and anticipation washes over me. The texts appear coded, a string of unfamiliar names flashing before my eyes. Each message is a puzzle, a piece of a life I'm not sure I want to uncover. The weight of my actions settles upon me, the silence of the room amplifying my secret. In the dimly lit space, a silent question hangs heavy as I fix my gaze upon him. searching for truth. Shadows dance across his face, obscuring his true emotions as I probe. Are you happy? A beat of silence stretches, fraught with unspoken tension. Of course I am, he replies. But his voice lacks conviction, failing to meet my searching gaze. His evasion speaks volumes, confirming the disquieting truth. A chasm lies between his words and his heart. In the suffocating darkness, I toss and turn, a prisoner in my own bed, sweat beating on my brow. Shadows writhe on the walls. As I snap awake, my heart a frantic drum against my ribs. I started having nightmares. I think the chilling words echoing in the silent room. Empty houses, faces I couldn't see, I recall. The images haunting me. A sense of impending doom lingers, a cold dread gripping my soul, refusing to release me. A shrill ring pierces the silence of the apartment, shattering the calm. I pick up the phone, bracing myself. It's my mother, her voice echoing from the speaker. Other, OS. How are you? How are the kids? A beat of silence, then my sharp reply. What kids? Heart pounding, I confront him, the air thick with unspoken accusations. He meets my gaze, a mask of innocence obscuring his true intent. I didn't do anything, he says, his voice a chillingly calm denial. You're imagining things. You're crazy. His words almost convince me. Almost. Sunlight paints stripes across a worn desk, illuminating the chaotic aftermath of a sleepless night. Coffee cups and crumpled papers litter the space, testament to a restless pursuit of truth. A half-smoked cigarette smolders in an ashtray, its cloying scent a stark reminder of desperation. Driven by a burning need, I resolve to find proof, no matter the cost or consequence. The truth, however ugly, is the only path forward. A beacon in the encroaching darkness. A stack of photos hits the table, the sound echoing in the silence. A man's face smiles up from the glossy paper, a stranger yet familiar. A woman stands by his side, her eyes bright with a life I don't know. Two small children cling to their legs, innocent and unaware. A perfect family portrait, a vision of happiness that stings with its absence. My hands tremble as I reach for another, the weight of their lives heavy in my palm. The world tilts, a dizzying vortex of blurred shapes and disoriented senses. Spinning faster, reality warps. Colors blend into an indistinguishable chaos. Darkness descends, a suffocating blanket extinguishing all light and perception. Air becomes a luxury, each breath a desperate, failing attempt. Only pain remains, a relentless, all-consuming fire searing through every nerve. The apartment door creaks open, revealing him. His words hang in the air. I love you. I clutch the photos, a silent story in my trembling hands, and offer them to him. His eyes scan each image, the weight of unspoken truths settling heavily on his shoulders. Defeat washes over his face, a stark mask of silence and regret. In the dimly lit room, shadows dance around me as I stand frozen, the air thick with unspoken accusations. My voice trembles, barely audible as I whisper, "How could you?" He remains silent, offering no solace, no explanation, just a hollow, empty gaze. His silence speaks volumes. Empty, hollow words are all he has to offer. Excuses hanging in the air. Rain races down the window as I watch the city bleed light. A cold cup of tea warming nothing in my hands. The apartment screams silence, broken only by the ghosts of memories. His smile flickers, a phantom promise in the dim light. He had another life, another family. His absence is a palpable weight, crushing the air from the room. While I was here, I think, the words bitter on my tongue. Waiting, believing, an oppressive silence fills the room as the man shifts, his gaze fixed on the floor, years of deceit etched on his face. He struggles to speak, the weight of his confession heavy in the air. The children were his. He admitted it, the man whispers, his voice barely audible. Years. He'd been living a double life for years, he confesses, the truth shattering the tense quiet. In the dead of night, I stare vacantly, haunted by memories replaying endlessly. The suffocating silence magnifies the stark emptiness within. Every shared moment, every whispered word, now feels tainted, unreal, and distant. I felt erased, echoes in my mind. A haunting admission of loss. Like everything we had was a lie, the voice whispers, cutting deep. A performance, a cruel joke. The final words linger, leaving a bitter taste. Dim light casts long shadows in the cluttered apartment. Unopened boxes, a testament to a life disrupted. I sit amidst scattered photographs, each a painful reminder of moments now tainted. A dusty record player sits silent, its music now a source of sorrow rather than joy. Our memories, tainted, poisoned, I think. The words echoing in the empty room. Each object feels like a shard of glass. Memories cutting deep into my skin. I could not look at photos. Could not listen to our songs. The narration whispers, a lament for what's lost. Total darkness. Then a spotlight pierces, revealing a lone figure center stage. Lost and disoriented, the figure struggles to grasp at a fading identity. The truth slipping away like smoke. I didn't know who he was, or who I was, a voice echoes, filled with chilling uncertainty. Fragmented memories swirl, each piece deepening the mystery, fueling a desperate search for self. The crushing revelation dawns. My reality had been a carefully constructed illusion. The carefully constructed illusion shatters, leaving the figure exposed in the stark, unforgiving light. Total darkness. A sense of being adrift in a silent void, lost and disconnected. Numbness smothers every sensation. Beneath the surface of numbness, a suppressed rage simmers, threatening to erupt and consume everything. A hollow shell, echoing with unspoken grief. The weight of emptiness is a tangible presence. I was angry, furious, but mostly numb, empty, like a shell. The narration cuts through the silence. The void seems to deepen, a reflection of the inner turmoil. The rage and grief threaten to overwhelm. Inside the apartment, I pack his bags, my movements sharp and precise. He watches, silent and still, an unsettling calm in his eyes. His gaze feels distant, as if he is already gone, a ghost in the room. There is no fight, no argument, only the quiet resignation of farewell. He is a stranger now. His presence, a haunting echo in what was once our home. He left. The silence crashes in, heavy and absolute. The house expands, echoing with emptiness, a chilling void replacing warmth. Sunlight floods the room, illuminating dancing dust motes, yet fails to thaw. The icy dread, a profound chill settles deep within, a bone-deep coldness that no light can touch. I scan my friends' faces, a canvas painted with shock and disbelief in this unknown place. Beneath the surface, a deeper current flows. Support? A silent promise in their eyes. A palpable warmth radiates from them, a comforting embrace in this moment of vulnerability. I told my friends. They were shocked, disbelieving, but supportive. I needed that. Their unwavering support envelops me, a beacon of hope amidst the uncertainty. Flickering candlelight paints the rustic cabin, shadows dancing on rough-hewn walls, reflecting unspoken tension. My family surrounds me, their faces grim, protective instincts twisting into something darker in the dim light. Each shadow amplifies their anger, the air thick with unspoken desire for revenge. I clench my fists, the silence screaming as I yearn for peace amidst their brewing storm. Sunlight warms the therapy room as I sit on the plush couch, hands clasped, a silent plea hanging in the air. I started therapy, I confess, the words a fragile bridge across the room's heavy silence. My gaze drifts towards the sunlit window, seeking solace as I admit I needed to understand. The therapist listens intently, her presence a steady anchor as I whisper, to heal. A deep breath fills my lungs as I acknowledge the long road ahead. To rebuild, a wave of shame crashes over me, an unseen ocean threatening to drown me in its depths. The weight of failure presses down, an invisible burden crushing my chest. A voice echoes in the emptiness. I have failed. The words hang in the air, a stark and painful admission of inadequacy. I am not good enough, the damning sentence repeats, sealing my fate in the abyss. In a dimly lit room, shadows dance ominously, each flicker of the lone bulb amplifying the unease. The air hangs heavy, thick with unspoken dread as I stand, the weight of thoughts crushing me. I clutch my head, a desperate attempt to contain the storm raging within. I questioned everything, my judgment, my intuition, my sanity. I confess, lost in the shadows, bathed in stark light. I stand alone, my body trembling as the weight of unseen truths bears down on me. The past replays in vivid fragments, a haunting montage of missed signs and ignored warnings. The realization crashes over me, a wave of understanding mixed with bitter regret. How could I not have seen it? I think, the question echoing in the silence of my mind. How could I have been so blind, so stupid? The self-reproach is a sharp, stinging lash. Darkness fills the bedroom, punctuated by the city's distant hum. A restless night begins in a tangle of sheets. Silence descends, heavy and suffocating, pressing down with untold weight. Vivid memories flicker relentlessly behind closed eyelids, each a stark, unwelcome guest. The what-ifs claw, sharp and insistent, each one tearing open a fresh wound. Trapped in the night's suffocating embrace, a battle against the relentless tide of memory and regret begins. Inside the mind, memories flicker like aged film, each moment replayed, dissected under the harsh light of scrutiny. Every conversation is re-examined, every word weighed, and every tone analyzed. Searching for clues, I seek answers hidden beneath layers of unspoken meaning. The answers remain elusive, veiled in the shadows of the past. In the dim bedroom, I sit at my desk, a worn journal, my only companion in the quiet night. The pen dances over the blank page, each stroke a whisper of thoughts seeking release. I started journaling. It helped. A little, I confess, the words echoing softly in the room. My brow furrows as I lose myself in the act, the weight of unspoken feelings etched on my face. Restless, I toss on the couch, shadows stretching long in the faint moonlight. The window casts a pale glow, but offers no solace, only highlighting my unease. My mind races, a relentless replay of the day's turmoil, each memory sharp, each regret a fresh wound in the quiet darkness. The bed upstairs feels tainted, untouchable, a silent accusation. Sleep remains a distant shore, hope fading with the dying moonlight. An untouched plate sits forlorn, mirroring the turmoil within. A knot of anxiety tightens with each breath. She pushes the plate away, a silent admission of a battle being lost. The mirror reflects a gaunt stranger, eyes hollow, clothes hanging loose. She tugs at the fabric, a stark realization dawning. I am disappearing. Sunlight fills the therapist's office, illuminating dust motes as I sit across from Dr. Amara. Dr. Amara's gentle smile offers a glimmer of hope amidst the quiet tension. Her words hang in the air, a challenge, an invitation. Focus on yourself. A subtle shift in her eyes as she urges, rediscover who you are. The weight of her final phrase settles heavily. Without him, a moment of quiet reflection as the sunlight streams, highlighting the path ahead. Footsteps echo on the pavement as I begin my long walks, a personal soundtrack filling my ears. Seeking solace, I search for joy in small wonders, vibrant flowers, and the sun's warmth. A gentle breeze whispers through the trees, a subtle reminder of nature's constant presence. Observing the world, I seek moments of beauty and peace amidst the ordinary. Each step is a meditation, finding rhythm in the simple act of moving forward. Sunlight floods the bustling coffee shop, laughter echoing through the air as I sit with a steaming mug. A genuine smile, long absent, graces my face as I am surrounded by familiar faces and warm eyes. A sense of belonging washes over me, the feeling of finally coming home. The weight on my shoulders lifts, replaced by a lightness I had forgotten existed. I sip my coffee, watching the world go by, grateful for this chance to start living again. Slowly, sunlight floods the modern apartment, illuminating every corner. I run my hand over the smooth, cold steel of the newly installed lock. Minimalist furniture defines the space, stark and clean. Catching my reflection, I note the dramatically different hair, a symbol of transformation. A new beginning hangs heavy in the air, charged with both hope and uncertainty. Sunlight floods the artist's studio, illuminating a blank canvas awaiting its fate. A palette bursts with vibrant colors, a symphony of emotions ready to be unleashed. Years melt away as I grip the brush, anticipation warring with a tremor of doubt. Colors, emotions, freedom. The canvas beckons, a silent promise of renewal. Fluorescent lights cast a soft glow over rows of desks, stretching into the distance. Amidst younger students, I sit, textbooks open, a pen clutched tightly in my hand. Sunlight floods the classroom, illuminating the air with dancing dust motes. I went back to school, I reflect, determination etched on my face. Finished my degree, I affirm, a quiet sense of triumph in my eyes. Proved to myself that I could, I whisper, the sunlight warming my face. Bathed in sunlight, a journey begins. The world a vibrant, unknown tapestry. Each breath is freedom, a stark contrast to lingering memories. New experiences unfold, brushstrokes painting a fresh chapter. Landscapes blur, each mile a step further into the unknown. His absence is a constant companion, a ghost in the rear view. The road ahead beckons, promising both adventure and solitude. Sunlight pierces the dusty window, igniting a ballet of dust motes in the empty room. I sit alone, cross-legged on the bare floorboards, bathed in golden light. A faint smile graces my lips, a silent testament to inner peace. I learn to be alone, to be content, to be happy, on my own. The storm of anger subsides, leaving behind a desolate emptiness. A deep, profound sadness washes over everything, a heavy tide pulling at the soul. The world fades, consumed by the quiet ache of sorrow. An overwhelming sense of loss permeates the air. Unspoken words weigh heavily, the air thick with the struggle to understand. Silence stretches, a suffocating blanket. The forgiveness, it was the hardest part. The narration echoes in the emptiness. For him, for myself, the narration continues. A bitter truth hanging in the balance. A bitter pill of forgiveness lingers, unspoken and hard to swallow for both souls. I stand alone in a stark room, a solitary window, the only feature. Light floods in, illuminating dust motes swirling in the air like tiny fleeting memories. A past interaction replays in my mind, its weight pressing down on me. A sudden realization pierces through the fog of my thoughts, sharp and clear. I realize that his actions were not a reflection of me. A voice echoes in my head, but of him, the truth settles, a heavy burden lifted from my shoulders. In the dim light, I stand before my reflection, a silent confrontation with the past etched in every line. Hardship has marked me, the faint tremor in my hands a constant reminder of battles fought and scars carried. Yet, beneath the surface, a flicker of something new ignites within my eyes. Strength, resilience, defiance. I started to see myself as a survivor, I whisper, the words a soothing balm to old wounds. Not a victim, I affirm, my voice gaining strength with each syllable, casting off the chains of the past. A strong, resilient woman, I conclude, the declaration hanging in the air, a promise to myself and the world. In a dimly lit, undefined space, a profound sense of resolution washes over me, settling deep within my bones. The blurred details of the room fade as acceptance takes hold. A quiet stillness replacing turmoil. I stop blaming myself. I reflect, the words echoing softly in the silent room. A wave of understanding washes over me as I recall past affections. I had loved him, trusted him, I acknowledge, finding strength in vulnerability. That was not a weakness. Sunlight floods the room, illuminating scattered photos, each a fragment of a life lived. A story whispered in faded hues. Amidst the poignant clutter of memories, a new scent emerges. Fresh paint, a symbol of renewal, and the promise of a fresh start. With gentle hands, I begin to heal, each breath a step towards mending the fractured pieces of my soul. I carefully gather the remnants of my past, each object a treasure, each photo a lesson, each moment a stepping stone. Like an artist assembling a mosaic, I arrange the fragments, transforming sorrow into beauty, loss into resilience. With each placement, my spirit grows stronger, my resolve unwavering, my future brighter with infinite possibilities. In a softly lit room, the air is thick with unspoken memories, each dust mote a tiny ghost caught in a beam of light. My expression is thoughtful, a hint of melancholy painting my features as I pause, gathering the fragments of my past. My gaze drifts towards an unseen window, a silent acknowledgement of battles fought and scars carried. I still have bad days, but they are fewer now, I murmur, a testament to resilience whispered into the quiet air. Bathed in soft light, I stand in an indistinct space, a profound sense of peace settling over me. I learn to accept what happened. I think, a quiet resolve in my voice. To let go of the past, I continue, a gentle smile gracing my lips. To embrace the future, I conclude, hope blossoming within me. In an unknown location, a fragile sense of hope begins to bloom, pushing through layers of doubt. The air is thick with unspoken fears as trust tentatively takes root. Each step forward is measured, shadowed by past betrayals. A cautious glance, a hesitant smile, small acts of defiance against the darkness. Despite the vulnerability, a quiet strength emerges with each act of trust. A new chapter begins, written in whispers of hope and guarded optimism. In a serene space, bathed in gentle light, I sit, lost in reflection, the air still around me. The quiet hum of contemplation fills the room as memories surface, each one a brushstroke on the canvas of my mind. Doubt and longing intertwine as I revisit moments of joy and sorrow, searching for meaning in the echoes of the past. A realization dawns, a quiet understanding blooming in the silence. Love is not a guarantee, but a choice. I realize that love is not a guarantee, but a choice, a risk. I reflect, accepting the vulnerability inherent in connection. In the nondescript room, sunlight weakly illuminates dust motes as I sit in heavy silence. The weight of unanswered questions settles upon my shoulders, resignation washing over me. A sense of defeat hangs heavy as hope fades with the dying light. I stop searching for answers. Some things are just unexplainable. I admit to the silent room. Bathed in soft light, I sit alone. Dust motes dancing around me in the stillness of the room. A deep sadness lingers in my eyes as I trace the rim of a coffee cup, lost in memories. A voice whispers from within. I learn to live with the uncertainty, to accept that life is messy, imperfect, the narration concludes. A bittersweet acceptance settling over me. Alone in the dimly lit room, shadows dance in the moonlight, painting the scene with melancholy. My gaze drifts, lost in the imperfections of peeling paint and water-stained ceilings. Cracked window, a silent witness, invites the quiet night to seep inside. A strange beauty emerges from the brokenness, a silent strength and vulnerability. Each flaw tells a story, whispered echoes in the stillness of the night. The room breathes with untold secrets, a sanctuary found within these fractured walls. In a reflective space, a lone figure stands bathed in a single beam of light, a silhouette of contemplation against the vast emptiness. Head bowed in quiet reflection, the figure pauses, gathering strength from within the silent void. Slowly, the figure lifts their gaze, a newfound resolve hardening in their eyes, reflecting an inner transformation. Taking a deep breath, the figure steels themselves, the realization of their inner power dawning. I realize that I am not defined by what happened to me, but by how I responded. The narration echoes. Bathed in the soft glow of morning, I sit in quiet solitude, a gentle smile gracing my lips. A profound shift stirs within, a rediscovery of self-love blossoming in the stillness of the room. I start to love myself again, fully, completely, unconditionally. I realize the words echoing softly. A solitary tear marks the culmination of a hard-fought journey, tracing a path of healing and acceptance. Sunlight floods the unknown location, highlighting every particle in the air. Bathed in golden light, I stand, a silhouette of resolve against the brightness. A gentle breeze stirs, whispering through my hair like a promise of change. I am not the same woman I was before, my inner voice declares with newfound strength. Each word echoes with the weight of lessons learned, resilience forged in fire. I am stronger, wiser, more resilient, I affirm, embracing the dawn of a new era. Inside a sun-drenched coffee shop, I sit alone, stirring my coffee, lost in thought. Sunlight catches dust motes, dancing around me as I drown in memories. A faint smile graces my lips, a bittersweet echo of days gone by. But a shadow of sadness lingers, clouding the warmth of the sun. I still think about him sometimes, I muse, my voice a soft whisper. Wonder what he's doing. If he's happy? The questions hang in the air. Bathed in a soft, ethereal light, a solitary figure stands, their presence filling the silent, unknown space. A flicker of sadness and understanding dances across their face, revealing a depth of unspoken emotion. I don't hate him, a voice whispers, cutting through the stillness. I pity him. The weight of loss hangs heavy in the air, a tangible presence surrounding the figure. He lost something precious. The voice continues, tinged with sorrow. Something real. Sunlight paints the room, illuminating dust motes in a silent dance. I stand alone, bathed in light and shadow. My face, etched with resolve, betrays a lingering sadness, a ghost of battles fought and wounds barely healed. A gentle breeze stirs the curtains, whispering secrets of forgiveness and release through the open window. The air is thick with unspoken words as I remember the past. I have forgiven him, I whisper, my voice barely audible above the rustling curtains. Not for him, but for me. To release the anger, the pain. I confess, the words a key unlocking my heart. Sunlight floods the empty room, dust motes swirling in golden shafts, illuminating my solitary figure. Framed by the light, a faint smile graces my lips, a silent acknowledgement of battles fought and lessons learned. I am not bitter. I am grateful, I think, the words echoing in the silent space. A resolute calm settles over me. For the lessons I learned, the strength I found, I reflect. Sunlight paints the cozy coffee shop as I sit alone, stirring my latte, a quiet observer in the bustling scene. Lost in thought, a faint smile graces my lips, a subtle blend of resolve and lingering vulnerability. I am not afraid to love again, I whisper, the words a soft promise to myself amidst the cafe's hum. A determined glint sparks in my eyes, a reflection of the careful path I now choose to tread. But I will be more cautious. I continue, my gaze fixed on the swirling cream, a silent vow of self-preservation, more discerning. I conclude, the quiet declaration hanging in the air, a new chapter waiting to be written. A solitary beam pierces the darkness, spotlighting a figure standing tall, head held high. Newfound confidence radiates, illuminating the figure with an inner glow. A voice echoes from the shadows, filled with newfound self-assurance. "I know now that I am worthy of love," the voice declares, resonating with conviction, of respect, of honesty. The figure continues, claiming their worthiness in the stark light. I stare into the mirror, my gaze hardening as light catches in my eyes. My reflection stares back, defiant and reborn. I am not defined by my marriage, I think, the words echoing in the silence, or by his betrayal. I am defined by me, I conclude, a fierce determination igniting within. Moonlight cuts through the gloom of the abandoned warehouse, dust motes swirling in the stark beam. Amidst the debris, my silhouette stands strong, a lone figure defiant in the encroaching shadows. Scars map my arms, each a hard-won story etched into my skin, whispers of battles faced and survived. I am a survivor, a warrior, a woman who has risen from the ashes. I declare, my weary eyes burning bright. In the stark confines of the confessional, a single spotlight pierces the darkness, revealing a figure shrouded in shadow. The air is thick with unspoken truths, each word a heavy step into the light. Echoes of the past reverberate, filling the vast emptiness with the weight of hidden sins. I am telling this story not for sympathy, a voice whispers, cutting through the silence. Not for validation, the voice continues, laden with resolve, but for truth, the figure declares. A painful quest for honesty in the echoing dark. In the theater of the mind, a lone spotlight shines on me, center stage, ready to face the unseen audience. My hands tremble slightly, a subtle tremor of vulnerability, yet my gaze remains steady and unwavering. To reclaim my narrative, I declare, my voice resonating with newfound resolve. To own my experience, to speak my truth, I affirm, my words echoing in the vast emptiness. Sunlight streams into the quiet therapy room, illuminating floating dust motes as I sit, hands clasped, a beacon of nervous energy. The therapist offers an encouraging nod, her gentle gaze meeting mine across the space, a silent invitation to speak. A deep breath, then a confession, to show others that they are not alone. My voice barely a whisper in the sunlit room, that they can survive, that they can heal. I continue, the words gaining strength, a promise echoing in the peaceful space. In an infinite void, a single spotlight pierces the darkness, revealing a lone figure. The air crackles with unspoken emotions. A palpable tension hangs heavy in the suffocating blackness. Narration. Betrayal changes you. It breaks you. The words echo in the emptiness. Narration. But it can also make you stronger, more resilient, more you. A single ray of sunlight pierces the gloom, illuminating dancing dust motes in an unknown location. I stand silhouetted, a lone figure against the light, breathing deeply as silence stretches around me. A long, silent moment hangs in the air, heavy with anticipation and the weight of the past. The air is still, the only sound my own breath, a quiet declaration in the vast emptiness. Finally, after an eternity, a voice echoes in the solitude. And now, after all this time, the word hangs in the air, a triumphant whisper against the silence. I am free.